Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today's going to be reviewing the Range Rover Velar. Before we get into this video, as always, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get right into it. Under the hood is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed. Fuel economy is 22 around town, 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 247 horsepower and then 269 pound-feet of torque. Before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So taking a look at the hood, you can see very simplistic with the design, of course, Range Rover front and center, and then you've got these little pieces that also say Range Rover. And then the lights you can see are pretty much flush with the grille, which looks really cool. And then you've got those little kind of like blade-like pieces there at the bottom, which also kind of add to the front end aggression. Our tire wheel setup is 265 by 45 by 21, and you can see that the wheel is tucked in there pretty tightly. This has air suspension. It's in the lower setting. Got the red brake caliper, which also looks good. We've got this little blacked out accent piece. You can see the mirror cap's blacked out, the window trim, and then also the roof is blacked out. So you got this really nice contrast with the roof versus the rest of the car. This leads us to the key fob where you've got our lock and unlock function. We've got the opening for the hatch. You can also turn the lights, and of course it says Land Rover there on the back. Now this is actually pretty spacious. Just for size comparison, it looks like this is pretty similar in size to like a Toyota RAV4, roughly. And then we've got the little 12 volt there in the back as well. But yeah, that's practical. I think the taillights are pretty cool how those kind of go across. Of course, there's Range Rover here on the back. And we've had bad weather, so that's why the car's a little bit dirty. But putting that all together kind of tapers off towards the back end. Now the Velar has the cool pop-out door handles. You've got this kind of like really rugged feeling trim up top and soft touch down below. I like the look of the handle too. And then here are the seats. Got a nice trim all over. Quickly pop in and see. Legroom's good. Got a little storage pocket. We've got some vents here in the back. Heated seats, USB port as well. And then despite the kind of like coupe type design, the headroom's actually pretty good back here. This leads us up front where again, you've got kind of like the rugged feeling trim, the soft touch down below. All of our window controls, memory seat functionality, blind spot monitoring with mirrors. And then here's the front seat. And I do like this trim. It's synthetic, but it has a very high quality feel to it. Same trim that you got on the dash and everything. And let's start it up. Bada bing, bada boom. Of course, the steering wheel says Range Rover on it, and it's got more synthetic material, and I actually, again, really like the feel of it, and it's actually held up really well. I mean, this only has 6,100 miles on it, but typically a lot of these press cars will show wear and tear on the steering wheel even after, you know, a couple thousand miles, because a lot of journalists just don't take very good care of the cars while they have them. But anyways, no wear on the steering wheel. Really impressive. Anyways, you've got practical controls for the center. You've got paddle shifters there on the back. We also have our cruise control, heated steering wheel function there too, and then just regular stocks there on the back. Now this gauge cluster is customizable. You can change how many dials there are on the information that is displayed. And I think this is actually aged very well. The reason I say aged is they've had this version of their gauge cluster out for quite a few years. And it's kind of like the perfect blend of looking modern, but then also not too crazy out there to where you get sick of it after a little bit. Anyways, we also have a heads-up display up top. Now this does have a backup camera in reverse, and you can get a 360 camera system with the Range Rovers. This one just has the regular backup camera, as you can see. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, it's very quick to respond. This has all the controls for the car, so if you want to change the drive mode, that is built into the infotainment system, and it does have the off-road modes as well. You can also change the ride height. And yes, it even comes with weight sensing, as if anyone would ever take a Velar through some water. But hey, you can technically do it and it'll let you know how far you can go. And then you also have the seats here. If we actually go to the climate tab, you'll see this says heated and ventilated seats. But yeah, the screen's quick to respond, so even though everything is built into the screen, it's pretty user-friendly. Get more of that rugged trim on the dash. I'm guessing they're using that because it's going to be a lot more durable, and then you get the kind of synthetic trim down below. Creates some nice contrast too. And yeah, literally just the shifter here in the center. That is it. And then the center console, it's got like two different armrest things that open up. You got cup holders there. And then we do have a panoramic center. Now this one has equipped stickers for about $76,000. Let's take it out. Now the Velar is a car that I've been living with for the last week, and first hot take on it, because we'll start with that and we'll talk about the good stuff. I don't think that Land Rover, Range Rover should have 4 cylinders in their cars anymore. I understand that it makes it so they can sell at a lower price point, and you guys can let me know if you disagree with me. I just don't think I don't think that part of the market's really worth it for them to even go after. I think that they should only do the 6 cylinders and above. I understand that that'll be cutting off the bottom part of the market, but again, Land Rover, it's a premium brand, and so, you know, I think they should only have premium powertrain. Just my 2 cents on that. And this 4-cylinder is not bad. It's just very peaky, and it feels weird to have such a peaky engine in such a like comfortable luxury vehicle. Now, when it comes to luxury and comfort, this isn't as good as the new Sport, but it's really good. The air suspension is great at soaking up bumps. It handles really well. The seats are comfortable. The interior just it has a tight feel to it. It's really nice. It's a really nice place to be. You can just put tons of miles on it, and it's just very comfortable. Land Rover does a really good job when it comes to comfort. And on top of that, all of this has been easy to use.
I didn't understand that.
Every time when I'm reviewing these cars, I need to stop saying the make of the car, so we don't have this problem. But this is all easy to use. I'm not a huge screen person. You guys know that. I like physical buttons, but this is quick enough to respond, and it's in the right orientation and everything that I have had no issues whatsoever with it in terms of use. So no problem there. Now, cute dog, by the way. I want to do a little test. So this is not an off-road vehicle, so we're not going to be taking it like fully off-road, but I wanted to show you guys the 4-wheel drive system, because so we just put it in gravel, because it's actually quite impressive. Now again, we're on 21-inch wheels, remember that. So it has an auto center locking differential. It does not have a rear locking differential, and this is way more than any Velar owner will ever take their car through, by the way. But I thought I had the tire issue information. Can you not have that shown all the time? We'll see if it goes away after a little bit. I just want to make sure I don't puncture a tire while we're doing this. Now, if you have the air suspension at the top, right, it's not going to be as comfortable, but if you have the air suspension at normal ride height, which you can go down stuff like this, and you think about like a snowy road or anything, like you'd be able to find a normal ride height, it's actually pretty comfortable overall. Now you'll notice that I am not, and by the way, this is kind of, I mean, you can see the mud right there. This is kind of muddy, very articulated as well. And this thing does not struggle for traction whatsoever. Again, doesn't have the automatic rear locking differential or anything like that. So now our tires are all wet too, and this is not like a super steep grade, but all that I wanted to do here was just to show you guys how good this traction, and I'm purposely going slow, by the way, so that it makes it even harder, right? I don't have any momentum. I just want to show you guys how good this traction system is. It's something that I owned a Defender, my wife and I owned a Defender for a year, and it's something we were really impressed with. It just always has grip. And part of that is having an auto center locker, and then their 4-wheel drive system's just fantastic. It really does a great job. So I really want to know my tire pressure. Like all the, this is one thing I will say, like, why can't I have that? I feel like I should be able to have the tire pressure displayed all the time rather than just part of the time. It's cool, it shows the articulation too. Now again, nobody's ever going to take their Velar through this, so this is not an actual off-road review. I just wanted to show you guys how impressive the 4-wheel drive system is. This thing, I found some deeper puddles. Now again, remember, as we're going through this, we are on street tires, and this is like mud, everything, so we're gonna go really slow. Okay, we'll go even slower through the second one. Okay, so I'm gonna be completely stopped. Here, I'll just stop in the middle of the puddle. What could go wrong, right? Again, I know it doesn't look like much, but this car is on street tires, 21-inch wheels. The traction system is so good. Other cars, you're gonna get a little bit of spinning if they just have a regular 4-wheel drive system going through stuff like this. And this just, as soon as you get wheel slip at all, it sends the power somewhere else. it's a really good system. Let me know what you guys think about the new Velar.